And I see opportunities everywhere. I am a salesperson. It's in my DNA. Nothing comes easy. It's putting those hours, working on your Instagram, working on starting. You've got to start somewhere.
It seems too good to be true.
Okay.
And you know what? It sounds too good to be true, but I know the tears, the blood and the sweat that you've given in these last few months.
That if I could make a success out of eyebrows, it's just eyebrows, right? You can make a success out of anything if you...
And today in studio we have the amazing Unaiza Suliman. For those of you that haven't seen a previous interview, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Here to share her experience through this year, 2020, a year that's been harsh on businesses, to say the least. And Unaiza, you have opened up your flagship store as we're seeing it. I've been to visit it, guys. It's absolutely phenomenal. And Unaiza is here to share her version of 2020 and the ups and the downs. And let's just take it straight in here. Your last interview when you came to visit was on an incredible high. You shared your amazing insights into who you are, how you see business, and how you build and continue to build your business through giving, through a unique mindset. And Unique Brows is it's shining at this time in life. And I'm so proud of you, firstly. Thank you again for being here, Unaiza. Start wherever you feel, because this interview is special for all of you guys, all of you entrepreneurs that are feeling that you might not make it, that are worried through all of these times. Today, we hope to change that, to tell you that it is possible through Unaiza's story.
So my story is not a success story. I've told you this many times, and I always say I love my story and my narrative never changes. But COVID, we're not grateful for that. But what COVID has brought, the positives in my life, and I'm not saying I was COVID positive, but the other positives was awesome. I was challenged in many ways during lockdown. During the entire 2020 has been a roller coaster of emotions. And I think just by having a specific mindset, the mindset that I have of resilience, and I see opportunities everywhere. I'm a salesperson, it's in my DNA, and with COVID, I started doing the PPE and I started selling masks because I saw the opportunity to sell something to a client. Having Unique Brows as a platform, I have a great network, and my network equals my net worth, and I just literally tapped into my network. I knew that there are clients that are looking for a good quality mask, and maybe I'm jumping the gun here now, but pre-COVID we were ready. We said we're going to open up our flagship store in Sandton City. We started with the training process of empowering young girls that have never touched an eyebrow in their lives, and I hired these girls. There were 10 of them, started the training process, and then March 26th we were told that we're going to close our businesses. That means 9 stores closed its doors. We had no income for that time. It was a shocker. But also we thought, okay, this is going to be like 5 or 6 months. And we're okay, for 5 or 6 months I've got enough money to keep me going, to look after my team and my girls and look after my household. I was okay. And then the levels were increased to a longer period, and that's when I was shook. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how I'm going to feed my family.
But I'm going to stop you here, Unaiza. You summarized everything, and it sounded like you're narrating a poem, a story, well curated. But I know for a fact, guys, we've kept in touch since and throughout. I mean, Unaiza looks amazing. She speaks amazingly. But I'll tell you, that fighting entrepreneurial spirit, I mean, we've all been through these last couple of months and have had our doubts about life. The way we look at life has changed. And I'm going to pull you back, Unaiza, because we've got viewers watching here that are it seems too good to be true.
Okay.
And you know what? It sounds too good to be true, but I know the tears, the blood and the sweat that you've given in these last few months. And this is what we want to try explain, what I'd like to bring out of this interview for the viewers of the channel.
You want the uncut version.
I want the uncut version.
You want the lowdown of how I cried and all the things that went wrong.
I mean, you know
from
why?
January.
Because I'll tell you something, in different contexts, I've had my share of tears through this lockdown, thinking about the future. How do you, and that's a story for another time for us, but everybody's, I feel, is under pressure till today. Entrepreneurs specifically, the seemingly lack of support for a specific type of entrepreneur, type of small business, whether they accept funding or not through this time. Props to whoever's trying to do their best to assist this economy. But bring it all the way back down to each household, each person's income, each person's vision that has been put on the line here. And it's a very lonely journey sometimes.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
you know what it's clearly, if there's common understanding here, the lessons through exactly that, the resilience for you to pull through. I mean, let's put it to you this way. Unique Brows, right? 9 stores. Doing brows all day, doors closed, right? No doubt that comes with lots of money, lots of income, all of these other things. But you started an entire mask brand, and what was that like? What made you decide, okay, masks?
Being an entrepreneur is in my nature, right? I'm born with a spirit, and like I said, I saw the opportunity. But it's how I packaged it. As I said, I used it and I aligned it around eyebrows, that 80% of your face is covered, and make that 20% count. But if your eyebrows are in a good shape and you're wearing a good mask, then you're good to go. So I had to do brow master and tutorials, and I had to keep relevant during lockdown because I didn't want my customer to forget about me. So with my Women Empowerment Program, I started doing lives every day, and I was doing skipping lessons and remain fit and, keep going at it, and don't lose yourself through this time, because your mindset needed to be very strong, because we didn't know, there was a lot of uncertainties. And I'm not someone that cooks and bakes, and well done to you for all of your cooking skills. Follow him for nice recipes. I'm not that girl, right? So I put my energy into something completely different. I sat down and I took a vision board, and all the things that I needed to get done, get work done, that, the mundane stuff that we don't ever see to. I put a vision board together, and I said, we have 6 weeks, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to achieve this, and we put a roadmap together. And my team and I worked, not my staff, my management team and I worked through the vision board, right? Which is what I do every January. Now the vision board had changed, or we had needed to add on to the vision board. So I sat down and I did that, and then I remained relevant by having live videos every day with a celebrity, and we were talking about many things, the trauma, emotional. We interviewed you about money. We did recipes. We just had random people speaking about what to do with your children to keep them entertained. So I was very relevant at the time. People had time, and social media is big, we know that, right? I built my business on social media. I could give an entire Money Talks lesson about social media. Just saying that. You'd see me back here, right? So we carried on with business, and then a client of mine said to me, Unaiza, I have 100% cotton masks, which I think, because you're upmarket and it's something you would use, wouldn't you want to sell this to your clients? I said, of course. We need to sell something. We were looking to sell our growth serums. We had only 400 units at the time, which seemed a lot, but we sold 400 units of growth serums during lockdown through the online store, which I launched in lockdown. Okay, so these masks were selling, and all I was doing, I was just reinvesting all this money into the business, into making Unique Brows a success and keeping myself relevant. And people were, their eyebrows were growing bushy, and we went on to all these trends about post or COVID or lockdown brows, and use a soap, and I launched my own soap here. So we started doing soap tutorials on how to manage or maintain your bushy brows with a soap. And then I launched my own charcoal activated soap in this time. So many things evolved, but there was one thing that was very upsetting, was that I have all of these staff that were looking at me like, where's the next income going to come from? So at the end of March, we paid the girls, they were fine, or we paid them before they left. And then April came along and we paid them, and we said, no problem, we're waiting for the UIF. Some of my girls accused me of stealing their UIF money because UIF didn't pay. And I said, well, I will fund this in the interim. And then May came along, and then I was, where am I going to get this next? How am I going to fit the bill for the salaries? And I had 10 new girls for Sentence City and 5 girls that work at my Mall of the South store. And I had my management team as well, and I still had myself. And then I needed to sell something.
Right.
Okay, so I couldn't sell training material, I couldn't sell tutorials because there was no demand for that. And then the auntie that came to me said, we've got these good masks. I said, okay, I'll try the masks. And my first lot of masks came through. It was a box of 400 masks, and the elastic was not sewn on properly.
The elastic was not sewn on properly.
So then I was like, what am I going to do with these masks? They're too big and the elastic is wrong. And then guess what?
What?
I launched the first hijab mask. I found a way that this long elastic could fit around the head perfectly, and it was the first hijab mask being sold in the country, catering for an untapped market, the Muslim community that wears hijab, that doesn't want a mask around their ears bothering them while they still have to wear, the volumizer and the hijab draped over their faces.
It's amazing.
So there was comfort there.
And then you have the agent model.
Right.
And how with the stores being closed, I'm assuming this is all on WhatsApp.
Correct.
Now building a business on WhatsApp to pay the bills, to continue to run the brand.
Yes.
So then there's masks, right? What else did you end up getting into? And what were you thinking about the future of brows, about the future of retail?
So I had no doubt that my business is going to thrive post-COVID because masks are not going to go away for a long time. And I knew that if I packaged my business, that if you're people that didn't take note of their eyebrows are suddenly noticing their eyebrows because they're sitting on a Zoom call for 8 hours noticing things are wrong with their face. Mm-hmm. We're going to fix a lot of bad brows, and everyone's bad DIYs at home that were going to come in and trickle into the stores to correct this. I knew that at some point we're going to be okay. But at that time, we were not okay. Right? So I had to fit these bills.
Right.
So then I started the agent concept. So we were selling an affordable 3 masks for 150 Rand. Affordable. Everyone could afford 150 Rand to have 3 good quality masks because you needed to wash your mask and you couldn't wear it for such a long period of time, etc., etc. We sold the whole story. I had these proposals that I sent out to schools, and we were the 100% cotton breathable mask. It's all about marketing. You can have a simple product, but it's how you sell it. And it's the way you sell it. And it was, diamonds are not a rare commodity, but it seems like it is rare because of this. I heard a story around this. We make it seem like it's rare and people want it.
Hold the supply, create the demand, and put the right marketing.
Correct.
But now marketing, right? A lot of companies through the lockdown, the first budgets to go is marketing.
Yes.
Right? And this is another advantage of building that brand online, building your presence online.
Yes.
And the effect of marketing at a lower cost it's clearly directly marketing. That's a very interesting thing. Now you mentioned vision board, right, Unaiza?
Right.
What are the questions being asked as the world has now seen something that was never expected before? What type of questions evolved? What are the questions you're asking? Thinking about the future. Yes, you needed to make a plan, but you've got viewers here questioning the very existence of their being, the nature of their business. And we know that innovation, solving a problem, is a series of asking yourself the right questions. How deep did you get and what type of questions did you ask?
So just to put you in perspective, I had just come out of a grieving process. And lockdown started, and it felt like I went into grieving again. And I spent a lot of time thinking, finding myself, questioning a lot of things, like you're saying, questioning your very being. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Why am I going through all of these things? Now COVID came along, and did I really need to go through this over and above what I've just overcome? There was a lot of thinking and a lot of soul searching, and I think in that grieving process and this, going on radio and empowering people, and it was my way of grieving. And then I might be deflecting right now, but I then became a human rights activist, and I wanted to become the voice for women that were affected by domestic violence, because as a victim of that and a survivor of that, I could understand their plight. So there was a lot of thinking and a lot of how are we going to bring women and empower women and teach them not to make the same mistakes I made. And in that solution, process of asking the difficult questions, a lot of solutions came about. So like, I realized, hold on, there's a weakness in my business. I didn't trademark my brand. How am I protecting myself legally? So I sorted that out in this lockdown period, because I knew that my business was at risk, because everyone's going to become a brow master at some point, because everyone needed to start their own home business and find a way or a stream of income. And this was the easiest way, because it seems from the outside that Unique Brows is such a profitable business and it's so successful. People automatically want to become you, right? So I knew that there's going to be a lot of home salons popping up. And so I started looking for solutions to problems. And that's when I said, well, if there's going to be so many of these brow businesses popping up, let me teach them to be good brow businesses and not give our industry a bad name. So I launched a free masterclass teaching anyone that wanted to log onto my website to learn the fundamentals of eyebrows. So that's the muscles, the cycles of hair. And what was so nice with our website, it was an integrative model, that you did the theory and you were certified immediately, and people shared it and word spread. And people were now learning and educating themselves and empowering themselves during this time.
What does it take to do this? And what I mean by that, you're not going to lock down, the world changes, you're not going at 6:30 to the business every morning. There's no rule book of how you live under lockdown. You've got all this extra time through the emotions. The question is coming, what's your favorite movie been over the lockdown? But where do you get this discipline to fill up your time? What does it take actually to do that and go from questioning to answers to acting? Because actions throughout this time serves everybody that has been keeping busy substantially more than sitting and doing nothing. But it takes something. How do you do that?
It takes a lack of support and a lack of a safety net to do this, because you're either going to get in and get it done, or you're going to suffer. And that means my children were going to suffer. As a single mom, I needed to make sure their school fees were paid. So I had no choice but to survive. I had to fight. I was like this duck swimming on water, like my head was above water and I looked glorified in all my images. But underneath that, I was paddling like crazy. I was struggling. I was finding ways. I was selling and punting stuff. I was selling things, the masks, the serums, the teenage masks. I was selling a solution for these clients, well, a value-added service that they needed good quality masks, and people believe me. They buy into me. There's that element of trust because of my brand. And I knew this, and I know this till this very day, that people trust me. If I endorse a product, I'm not an influencer, but I have major influence on an influential person. People will believe me if I say this product works. They know that I bought it, I've used it, and I tried it, and no one's paying me to sell and endorse a product. So knowing that, and I'm not a TV person, so I have not watched Netflix or TV at all in lockdown. I haven't watched any movies. I would rather much sleep, but it's also knowing that, we needed to get up and have a routine. And I think if you read the 5 a.m. book, of the 5 a.m. Club, You know that you need to wake up at a specific time, you need to keep a structure, have a timetable. Mondays,
Conquer
Tuesdays,
your first battle in the morning, 100%.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
And after all of this effort, not deserving what the world's throwing at you, fighting it because you're coming from a point of necessity, like
Yes.
Most people do, which makes it more impressive, you know. Your Instagram, your base of operations got hacked.
Don't even remind me. I cried.
I saw that happen and I was confused.
I had 20,000 followers. That was organically grown. I spent a lot of time boosting my social media. When I mean boosting, not paying for my adverts, you know,
Growing.
working towards it, you know, curating it, making sure my content is great. I could take 2 days to write a caption, you know. So when that was gone, I cried because that was my source of income. I sold all those masks that fitted the bill through that Instagram account. I was devastated, Nabeel. I didn't know what to do, and I just thought, you know what? Life has thrown us so many curveballs. There is always something good that comes out of something bad. And I think just having a belief system and having faith that, you know what, God is going to provide for us no matter what. He's never let us go hungry, no matter what my situation or my circumstances have been. So I had to have a very strong belief system that, okay, I'm going to be okay. Yes. And I started my new account and I just grew at it, and I'm almost at 10,000 in a very short space of time. Because people realized this is not Unaiza. And my DMs were flooded in my new account and the business account. And I used my network again to tell everyone that I knew to please share on their platforms that my account was hacked. And we grew and we overcome this, and it's now an afterthought. I mean, I even forgot about that. You reminded me about it.
Think about that. There's no Instagram insurance. It's not an official way, but it is everything in your business, and a lot of small businesses that are growing in this space.
Right.
So Unaiza, retail. You've got this amazing flagship store. I love that massive mirror as a feature in the center. What is your future? How do you see the future of retail? You know, the world's changed.
Absolutely.
People aren't going to shopping centers anymore. Why come back?
So we're a service-oriented business. Clients still want that amazing touch, feel experience. We measure brows the scientific way. No matter what, I can't do my eyebrows the way my girls can do it for me. I mean, I was putting wheat on my brows during lockdown. I put myself in a very compromising and, you know, vulnerable situation. I was tweezing my brows during lockdown on a live platform when tears were rolling down my eyes. But I needed my clients and my people to know that I'm a real person experiencing the same pain that they are going through. My eyebrows were ratchet at that time, but it's okay. So getting back to the retail question is that people still want that hands-on experience. People still want to smell a fragrance. They still want to try a product. Yes, it's nice to shop online, but it's not the same experience. I'm an experienced person. I want to walk into a store and smell that, you know, that fragrance that they have, and listen to the music and speak to the consultant and tell her my life problems, because it's a psychiatric position that the client lays in. They come and they lay down and like, guess what? This is what happened last month and X, Y, Z. So people want that. They want to talk to the therapist and tell them about their experience. And what was great was everybody ruined their eyebrows during lockdown. Clients are coming in with bad brows and we're fixing it.
You know, I'll never forget. You either have too much eyebrows or too little eyebrows, and
correct.
That's your business.
So there again, we were solving a problem. There was a problem, you had too much or too little. We were solving either of the problems. And I think in any business, whether you're selling anything for that matter, the way you market it is that you have to sell a solution to the problem. So if you're selling pedicures, you're selling dry, corny heels that you can soften.
But I believe you've brought back in the store now a range of products through your experience, right?
Right.
You've got the Ivy, you've got brands, the collaborations that are happening. Is this I mean, it has to be the future if you're doing it.
It's been 2 weeks since we've opened the store.
Right.
And I have to say it's been an absolute success. And I'm hoping that it's not just, when something's new, it's a novelty of people coming in to see what it's all about. Because we've been overwhelmed with the amount of walk-ins that we've had, and people want to experience our service. Also, the location has been amazing because we're servicing a bigger demographic in the north, which previously to this we weren't, and those clients had to travel far to us, which a lot of people did. There's lots of people from Bedfordview that would drive to Four Ways for their eyebrows. But collaboration is key in any business. Because I'm not a threat, because I only do eyebrows, people want to collaborate with me. Let's put together our skincare products. And we have an entire beauty bar now where we sell international skincare, which is only available on online stores. But we've brought it into retail, and clients are saying, hey, this is nice. Because if they were doubtful of buying a product, they now can come in, purchase, use their credit card, and have that instant gratification. There's no waiting period for the courier to come an hour, a day and a half or 2 days. And sometimes it can be off-putting. If I want something now, I'm not going to wait 2 days for it. I want those booty bands now. I'm going to go and buy them at, what's the store? Sportsman Warehouse,
But it's ironic, isn't it? Before online, it was the exact same narrative for online.
Yes.
If I want something, I order it online, and it comes in a day or two.
Human nature is crazy.
But it's a huge risk that you take, opening up a store when there's still a possibility of lockdown
looming.
But this is another advantage as well as an entrepreneur, another risk that seems to be paying off. And may Allah give you every success throughout it and continue to build the brand and see retail change the way it's experienced in the future. I'm so proud of you taking these steps, operating forward. And you've got somebody sitting on the other end of the screen that may be feeling helpless, that may be feeling lost, that may be feeling scared, right? These are all similar feelings, and mix them together in a cocktail. It can lead to, you can feel paralyzed. What would you tell our entrepreneurs, especially our female entrepreneurs that are really starting to shine in the space in 2020, looking at the world ahead? What can you tell that person sitting across from this camera?
So I always say that if I could make a success out of eyebrows, it's just eyebrows, right? You can make a success out of anything if you apply your mind, you put your heart in the right place, and it's hard work. Nothing comes easy. It's putting those hours, working on your Instagram, working on starting. You've got to start somewhere. Having a business background, and I'm a beauty therapist by nature. I studied business because of all the mistakes that I've made, and I don't want anyone to make those mistakes. But it's experience that that builds. I paid expensive school fees, losses along the way, and I'm still going to learn. But right now, I've protected my business in a way because of the lessons and the mistakes that I've made. And if you're starting a business, you need to have a business background. You need to know your financial status. You can't be buying and selling and not understanding what is the cost of your product, what is your RRP, what are your running costs per minute, whether you're running a home-based business, put a value to your time. How much time are you putting into your business, because that's going to be ultimately your output. It doesn't come easily, and no matter what business you're doing, no matter what business you are in, and if you're a female, you just need to know that females are there. We're there to support you. I'm there to support females. I believe that, the power of collaboration and asking, can you share my stuff on your social media? Can you try out a product and give me free publicity? I'm still, till this very day, giving free serums, free brows, the same rule that we spoke about in the previous talk. Right now, we've given out 2,500 vouchers in the Sandton area, so clients can come in, experience us, and they're going to be our potential clients. I'm not grateful for COVID, not at all, but it has given me a negotiating hand. So I went to the mall and I said to them, you want me? But these are my terms. And they accepted it. So
And now more than ever, right? And you and I were speaking before the cameras went on about the masterclass we're launching on the new Money Talk site that we're launching as well. Online course to teach people about personal finance. And the first thing you said was exactly that. Change this to aligning to your young females.
Yes.
And I'm actually going to design that while I'm designing the other one. And thank you, Unaiza, because the point that was made there earlier that you guys missed is, as a female in business, as a female in the world, sometimes you may feel like you need to catch up, or you're behind, or there's something that you are not privy to in the world of business that maybe men have ran through so far. I'm here to tell you from my perspective as a man, COVID, the world as it's changed over the last 5 years, there's no such thing as a professional. Everybody's back down to ground zero. And you are only as good as you are able to grow yourself, think about the experience, move forward, and always act with purpose, value, and think about people first, in which case, in my opinion, women are designed better to do that automatically. And actually men are on the back foot, my opinion. But this is exactly it, right? We need to get you guys to understand that you can do anything you really, truly put your mind towards. So there's only today, there's only the time that you have between when you wake up and you go to bed, and operate, right? Put in the work, put in the effort. Unaiza, you really don't watch TV?
Not at all. You said earlier on that I speak well, right?
Read books?
I read books, but I joined Toastmasters during lockdown. I'm learning to do a public speaking, coaching, watching the ums and the ahs, and it's a self-empowerment program. I had to educate myself, and if I could empower myself, because no one's going to empower me, Nabeel, if I don't empower myself. And if there's something that is lacking, which I felt was I could speak more clearer, I could be more articulate, I needed to teach myself this, so I joined this class. Toastmasters, it's mundane, it's frustrating because it's a 2-hour Zoom class every second Tuesday, and it's, time away from my children. But I've noticed that my children are listening to this, because some days I'm grammarian or some days I'm timekeeper, and they listen and they're also like, Mom, this lady is over time. My little Umar will be like, I'm like, did you see the time? And this is so nice, because these values, without me teaching it to my children, subliminally, they're learning all of this and about business. So it is really essentially just not one right thing that you can do. You have to do everything. You have to do a million things to get to that self-mastery level. And I can't say I'm there yet, but I'm on this journey towards that. And self-love, I spent 2.5 hours at the gym. And I know this sounds crazy, because you'll be like, lots of people like, oh, but you look great. And I don't do it because I want to look good. It's because when I'm there, mentally, it's my therapy. And I think and I extend my physical self, but also my thinking capacity has now changed, because I can push my body to a certain point. I know I can push my mind. So many things and so many facets of my life depend on me going for therapy and self-love and self-healing. And during lockdown, I had thousands of women reaching out to me and asking me, how do you do it? How do you juggle all these balls? You're like this businesswoman, you're a mom, and you're a fashionista, and you look good, and they think I cook well because those pictures look good. How are you doing all of this? They've let themselves go, and they're in a slump. And I'm saying, get out of it. No one's going to pull you out of that slump if you don't. You have to, sort yourself out. And with social media, we all only put on the good pictures. I will never put a bad picture on. So you think my life is perfect. It's not. I am honestly an imperfect person with lots of imperfections in my life, lots of things that have failed. But I literally just put my big girl panties on. Am I allowed to say that?
You've said it.
Okay. And I put my focus on, and now success is all that I'm chasing after. And it's not the amount of money I have in my pocket. It's my brand and how far we're going to go. And I sat down with my children the other day and I said, listen, Unique Brows has now extended to Unique by Unaiza. Umayya, it's time you're going to launch a teenage line. You're going to have Unique by Mia at some point. I said to Umar, you're going to have my son loves to do his hair. You can have a gel line. I'm teaching my children business.
And you know what? I think they have one of the best teachers out there. No, by nature of your principle, you know exactly what you said now, the money in your pocket. I've witnessed you as a friend, and our relationship has grown throughout this time. You define everything that it is of growing a valuable business, because it truly isn't what money you can take out of it. As the leader, you've opened up the store. I've seen all the staff. I've seen the upgrade to your management team. These are people that are relying on you, backing on you, that the money is going to. And I've seen you put this, testament to it all. Invest in your business, build the value, and think about the future. Thank you very much, Unaiza. Continue. I wish you everything of the best, and I'll always continue to support you.
Oh, thank you. It's nice knowing that I have a fan.
Absolutely a fan.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope that I could inspire someone from my story and, just give some value and something that you can take back from my little humble beginnings. And you can do this. If I could, so can you.
So guys, stay in touch. We are going to do more of these simply because it's a story and we are just human beings, and we're rooting for you in your journey to living life on your own terms. So share this video, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.